Sean Crystal. I'm a gobble out of the on the cabin shop. We welcome Lesh Good Greg Lever Cullerine, so Laura of Pocket Barrel of Russia. I'd like to welcome you all here today. You're in a civic building that was built in 2007, some of you will be quite familiar with it, some others will not. In this building you have the Arts Centre, which we're in. You have the office, the County Council office, and we have court service courtroom, so if anybody's really bored, we have a holding cell. I'd like to welcome the speakers. I'd like to welcome the chair, Dr. Helen McHenry from the West Development Commission, and she'll be taking over from me, thankfully, in a few minutes' time. We also have Paul Kinney and Darren Malloy and Phelim Sharvin is en route. And after lunch then, we need to come back at 2 o'clock. Have to, sorry, because Declan Mealy is doing a presentation from the SEAI on their proposals. And in the afternoon then we'll have Stephen Welsh, Mo Cloonan, and summing up at the evening with Dr. Helen McHenry. So questions and answers will be taken at the end of the presentations, not individually, but at the end. So if you have a question, write it down and we'll try and answer it, hopefully. These are the experts here, I won't be answering any questions. That's who will come. So we've Gluaire, Tracy Hannon in concrete oppression, and she just told me that they financed €2 million worth of VCs in the last 2 years. So from social financing perspective, Tracy's here, she'll be around for the day, and if you want to talk to her, she's available to speak to any different community groups that may have an interest in social financing and project. Question, without much further ado, could invite Dr. Helen McHenry on Western Development Commission. Helen, Co.Mayo.
I'm very pleased to be here at this Community Energy Information Seminar. I think we'll have a really interesting lineup of speakers talking about both the practicalities of community energy projects, some of the technicalities of finance and finance options, planning issues, experiences elsewhere, particularly Scotland, where they have a really good model of community energy, and also SEAI will be talking about some of their work in relation to energy and community energy. Just to begin with, I thought I would just give you a quick run through of the Western Development Commission and what we've done in this area, because some of it will be relevant to if you're looking for further information in the future. Very quickly, we cover a 7-county Western region. We're a small state agency with about 12 staff. We work in a variety of areas, including policy analysis. We have a commercial investment fund, we have Look West and Yates 2015. But most relevant for today, we work in a number of strategic projects and model development projects. And recently they've been in relation to renewable energy. I'll talk a little bit about our community energy work in a moment. But just to say, in 2007 we had a wood energy strategy for the Western region. So while maybe a little bit less relevant in Belmullet, looking at the resource of our region, we considered that biomass was an important option for energy and renewable energy in the region. And following from that, we worked on a number of European projects on bioenergy. If you're looking for more information about bioenergy in terms of the resource in the region and demand, that type of thing, you'll find information on the Razzleres website, or also Biopad, which focus more on the supply chains. Rockwood is largely about energy crops. But just moving on a little bit to the community energy work we've done. In 2004, the examples, we published To Catch the Wind, which was really an examination of the options of community involvement in wind energy. So it looks at things like finance options, structures of community options, what at the time were the policy issues around grid connection and planning. That's 2004, it's quite old, but some of the stuff is still relevant. If you're looking for that, have a look on the WDC website for 2004. Following that, we then got involved in a pilot community energy project in Killala. And we worked as a facilitator with that project. And following that, the experiences and general experiences or instructions for community energy were written up in this document. Some of you have it because I bought some copies. It's quite a step-by-step guide. I think even though it's quite old, it's still very useful about the things you want to consider if you're thinking of getting involved in community energy, what kind of structures you might need to look at, financial, legal issues, what the options are, what your resources are, and how to basically go about getting involved in or setting up a community energy project. We've also worked with Udaros na Gaeltachta on community enterprise in relation to wood energy. I don't have any copies. Again, that's, if that area is of interest to you, have a look on our website. And just since we're here to talk about community energy, and some of you might be wondering why are we talking about it, or what's it all about, or what are the benefits, why is there interest in it? Community energy is a really good opportunity to spread local economic benefit. If you think of the money that's being spent on energy staying in your community rather than going elsewhere in Ireland and overseas, particularly for fossil fuels, there's a lot of benefit to keeping that money locally. Community energy also gives some option for local control and management of your resources, seeing what you have and how you can make it work for you. It can help promote acceptance of energy projects. I think that's one reason why in some areas it's become very popular or regarded as a model. It's only one aspect of it. I don't think it should be considered the whole point of community energy. It's got a lot more broader benefits than that. And it can contribute to achieving our energy goals. If that's something that doesn't come up later, we can talk about it at the end. We have very heavy targets to meet in terms of renewable energy. And so anything we can do to contribute to meeting that will be for the benefit of Ireland in the end. I also asked the question, and maybe think about it during the course of the day, is community energy always the right answer? Now that sort of brings us on to my next question. Again, think about it during the day, there'll be different models discussed, but what do we really mean by community? It can vary significantly, both from a community-owned and developed project to a community having a small share in a developer-led project. There's advantages and disadvantages to both, but community is a very broad term and it has different meanings and serves different purposes. So I think that's something to be clear on. Community energy is also often conflated with local energy. I don't think they're not always the same. Obviously community energy can be used for export. You could be providing the energy elsewhere. Or it could be local energy obviously doesn't necessarily have community energy involved. So again, that's a difference we should be aware of. Again, talking about energy, one of my hobby horses is that a lot of focus has been on electricity in our energy policy and much less on other forms of energy, such as heat and transport, which are also very important. So thinking about the kind of areas a community might wish to be involved in, obviously that involves looking at your resources, what's available to you, and also your needs. But remember, it can mean things that are much broader than wind energy, and I think we'll get some sense of that in our presentations later. So, having been involved in it, our organisation being involved in it for a number of years, there are plenty of challenges and there are also plenty of opportunities. So try and think about how it might work and how we can make it happen. I think we'll return to some of those questions later on, but if you have those in mind, it maybe help you get more out of some of the presentations. Our first presentation is from Paul Kenny of the Tipperary Energy Agency. He's the CEO there, and they have been involved with Belmullet Wind Farm, which is one of the first community wind farms. It's taken a while to get going, but I think it'll be very interesting to hear about some of the challenges and the opportunities that they have.